on a Sunday. It is episode 48, which we are diving deep into the radiant light of Uranus and how her stationing direct in Taurus, what that is going to do, especially amidst all of these energies. Pluto going into Aquarius, the start of Aquarius season, the Sun and Pluto conjunct in Capricorn that just occurred, and of course, our very first full moon lunation of 2024. So we're going to talk about it all, but there is more. The visionary Mercury also enters Aquarius to kick off February. So we're going to touch onto that a little bit as well, get a little prepared, a little ahead of the game. And yeah, we're here. We're ready. We're ready for this afternoon. We've got the lo-fi vibes. We got a little bit of tea here, and I have magically moved away my keyboard so that way I don't shut down the live stream and, have to start all over again. So, we are here. Let's start out with cleaning out the broom closet. And I will say, I don't know if y'all are in the Panhandle area, it is freezing out here. I know that there is some massively cold weather going on across the United States and in the UK. So stay warm, everyone. Definitely, Page of Swords, that clear, that cutting. And I just realized I was kind of getting ready for all of this. I am in probably 3, 4 different shades of green right now. Very, very Taurian, very Uranian Taurus energy. The Page of Swords is here to start us off, getting into that grounding energy, bringing things forward, bringing clarity forward, bringing much needed insight forward, bringing much needed, there's getting rid of that static. Like, I feel like this page is cutting through the static. It's cutting through the bullshit of things. It's cutting through um there's something, so I am using, just so that way everybody knows, and I'll get back to where this Page of Swords comes in because it ties together. But I am using the Morgan Greer Tiny Tarot. I haven't used Tiny Tarot in a hot minute. I love Tiny Tarot. I love that it fits in my hands. I love that it's easy to navigate, it's easy to work with. And I was so called to use the small tarot. And this is where this Page of Swords ties in at, as well as where we're going. 123, that happens on Tuesday. Venus is going to head into Capricorn. This cleaning out these concepts, this Uranus stationing direct, it's cutting through the bullshit. You don't need a gigantic tarot deck. You don't need a gigantic neon effing sign in your face to just begin, to just do, to just cut out the static. Sometimes, most of the times, almost all the times, it's the little things. It's the little things that we do that have this great difference, that was the catapult to the next thing. It was that one moment where it was so subtle you almost missed it, but it changed everything. Page of Swords, Tiny Tarot. So, like I said, on Tuesday, Venus will head into Capricorn. We've already talked about that. Oh, we've got the Nine of Swords showing up. Lots of this sword energy. I mean, we are talking about Mercury and Aquarius. Well, Venus headed into Capricorn, unbreaking those binds, getting more into. We talked about Venus in Capricorn and why I love that energy is she is now kind of coming back and revisiting. Pluto is now out of Capricorn. So she gets to come back to a sign that she retrograded in. Again, this is kind of heading back. And this Twitchy Tuesdays, we're going to be a little bit of reflecting backwards into where we've been. So here she is reflecting back to where she's been, and now she can see things in a different manner. Pluto might have bound her a little bit, even though, yep, she's been into Capricorn already after this, but there could have been this bind that she experienced. There could have been this, maybe there was a little bit of frustration. Maybe there was a little bit of uncertainty. And now, because Pluto is in Aquarius and she gets to come into Capricorn now and be unbound, She gets to come into Capricorn and understand every single one of these nine swords. She gets to come into Capricorn and truly embrace and empower all the things that she has become, all the things without interference. Again, Page of Swords, cutting out that static. That to me is going to be the Page of Swords is going to sit and kind of rule over all of this with that theme of cutting out the static. Venus is going to be able to be in Capricorn without the static of Pluto being there, without that watchful eye of the grandfather, without the watchful eye of the tutor, the mentor, the teacher. She gets to go at it on her own and see what she comes up with. All right, then the 24th, nada. No direct aspects, nothing happening on the 24th. Let Venus settle into this little bit of freedom, into this little like she's got some room to breathe in here. And then on the 24th, Mars in Capricorn will square Chiron in Aries at 15 degrees, 51 minutes. That's the other thing that I really love. And here comes the King of Pentacles. That's the other thing that I really love about Venus coming into Capricorn as she is. She is following behind her brother and her lover. And it's this real moment of empowerment that Venus doesn't need. She can stand on her own. She can stand in her own power. She can stand in her own power in the earth, in these earth energies. She can stand on the solid ground, this pentacle, and be her own. Now, she is sharing, we've got the Capricorn cluster going on. She is sharing in this energy the immediate moment that she ingresses in. She's got some of this energy around her, right? We've got Mars here, we've got Mercury here, but that's okay because she's behind them. And that's wonderful. Mars and Mercury, that Matt, they should be leading the way. They should be. So Venus can come behind and kind of take this again, Page of Swords, get this static out. Take a look at the foundation that they've laid heading back to this Nine of Swords. What's the foundation that Mercury and Mars has laid so far in Capricorn? Now, don't forget, Mercury's been back and forth. So, what is this foundation that has been laid? And Venus can now take a critical eye to it, an eye to see through that static, an eye to see King of Pentacles, the best of, the way to encourage, enhance, the way to create in abundance, and come and birth all of that forward. As Mars in Capricorn is having a square to Chiron in Aries, Venus may come up in here, take a look at some of these, make some suggestions again, cut out the bullshit, get that static, get the static out of the way. And, Mars and Chiron in this square, that could be a little tender, could be a little tender for Mars. But remember, no matter what, it's all for the best. This is where the play of masculine and feminine energies and understanding how you work inside of yourself with both is so important. You should be able to lead forward. Mars should be able to go into Capricorn and set the direction. Venus should be able to come behind him, take an observing look, intuit what is missing, see something from a different, higher, more intuitive perspective, something that will make it more comfortable. It's like Mars going out and finding the home, and then Venus coming in and or let me rephrase that. Mars going out and finding the house that is perfect for the family, for the dynamic, for the security, for the King of Pentacles, for the kingdom. And then Venus coming in, taking that sharp critical eye to it, this Nine of Swords, cutting out all the bullshit and making that house a home. We are in Capricorn, we are in Earth, we are in our self mastery, blending these two things together. On the 26th, Mercury will then meet up with Chiron in that same square just 2 arc minutes later. So 15 degrees, 51 minutes, so you get this double hit of Chiron. You get this double hit of, how is what's happening in that front part, or how is what is happening in the whole? How is what is being observed, what is being shown to you, the Nine of Swords, what is being directed at you, this Page of Pentacles, for the King, or the King of, I'm sorry, Page of Swords, the King of Pentacles, for your highest and best good. How how are you feeling about that? What does it trigger within you? Is that a repetitive cycle pattern? And so first you get it on the action side, then you get it on the communication and the thought process side. So it's kind of like a 1-2 punch. Boom, bam. How are you going to handle it? Well, there's ways, watch boxing, there is ways to block and to successfully navigate, not negotiate, navigate a 1-2 punch. What have you learned about that? And then on the same day, the 26th, Ceres and Sagittarius will square Neptune and Pisces at 25 degrees 37 minutes. And then we'll head into 127. So this is the big day. We are going to talk a lot about the 27th here when we talk about Uranus stationing direct, 'cause this is the day that Uranus does that. I am going to hold on reading off everything in this segment because when we go through Uranus stationing direct, I will go over the 27th because I am going to actually give you time so you can see how this energy is going to be playing out. But there is quite a bit going on the 27th, and it doesn't stop. So the 27th, we get this energy. Uranus stations direct. There's one, two, three. There's three aspects that get highlighted, activated. This is a big moment. And the 28th ends up refreshing all of this, doesn't let off the gas. This is not, in fact, downshifting. This is going into fifth gear, maybe even sixth gear if you got a newer model of a manual. So the 28th, Venus in Capricorn makes her first aspect in Capricorn to Saturn in Pisces, which is a sextile at 6 degrees 1 minute. So I really like that because here she is putting this critical eye on things. Saturn in Saturn sign. Saturn's here to help her. It's at that 6 degree mark. So we've gone past that. I know what needs to change. Now I can begin to implement some of those changes. And ah, 7 of Cups. I'm sorry, not 7 of Cups. Yes, 7 of Cups. Whoa. All of a sudden, so when I was looking at this in the computer, all I saw were these 3 cups and this two, completely missing this middle line. Okay, there's obviously cards come out for a reason and we see things for purpose. So, Venus in Capricorn sextiling Pisces, what are you missing? What is being shadowed, what is being because the same day we've got Mars in Capricorn squaring the North Node in Aries, 18 degrees 2 minutes. Mercury will then trine Uranus in Taurus, 19 degrees 5 minutes. And again, another kind of that 1-2 punch. Venus in Capricorn will trine Jupiter in Taurus, 6 degrees 59 minutes. So there's something in this back that's hidden. Because if you look at this card, right? So here you have these 3 cards that are very prominent up front. These are in your face energies. You're not missing them. You're not missing the message. You're not understanding it. And then you get these 2 cards up top where, okay, I connect that. I got that. I got that higher message. I got that higher intuition. I've got so the 3 cups down, that's the stuff that we're bringing out into the earth. It's the movement, the process, the things that we know we're changing in our immediate environment, in our immediate energy signature. Maybe that's like new soap, new clothes, new wardrobe, whatever that looks like. We've got it, and it's very clear and cut and dry. Then we also have this aspect with these 2 cups up in the high on what we're doing with our mental and our internal spaces, so our energetic spaces. Maybe that's instituting things like Reiki or doing a yoga practice or journaling more or whatever is brought. But again, these are things that are in our awareness that we are conscious of and we are consciously doing during this time. Then you've got these 2 cups right here. So in these cups, first off, is a person. Might be a message for some of you, probably is. The other one is nothing but riches. And they are the two that are most concealed. Are they easy to miss? Are they put on the back burner? Ooh, ooh, that ting. That's the ting. This is self. Where are you putting yourself on the back burner? During this time, where are you getting lost in all the other stuff? You're doing all the things. You've got all of your practices, spiritual, mental, physical practices. You've got all the things that are going on here. But where is self within this? Where is the process of self? And there might be some here, this Saturn and Jupiter. This is a sextile and a trine, both at 6 degrees. One's at the start of 6 degrees, Saturn, and then you end with a 59 arc minute. So they're at these two opposite sides of the 6 degree point, but they're both supportive. And I'm seeing that as like finding the support for yourself. Maybe there's an expansion of what that means and looks like for you. I'm seeing it as this riches, finding the support, finding the opening, finding the Page of Swords, finding the clarity that you've been waiting for, bringing these two cups more out into the forefront where they are more present. The answers are more clear. There's not a lot of guesswork anymore because this Mars on the same day, this Mars in Capricorn squaring the North Node. Again, talk about the binds. Woo, them's the binds. You get the excuse me, you get the square to Chiron, and then right after you get the square to North Node, talk about the binds. Pressure, pressure. And it's not just Mars. Mercury's in the same spot. Our masculine energy is under pressure right now. It's under pressure to, again, determine what is needed, determine where you need to not bind yourself, where you need to let go, where you need to provide clarity, the shit that you've got to get away. I mean, like, I can't even like sit up right now. I'm like, this is some bullshit. But we get through it because look, these are the cards that come after it. The King of Pentacles. It's all purpose. It's all purpose. And I'm hearing it's nothing that we don't know or haven't experienced before. It's kind of like old news. Like this is old news. The question really, and maybe this is the twitchy tip of the week, the question really should be, why are we still dealing with it? What else is spirit trying to show you? So yeah, you could have absolutely Page of Swords. You could have cleared all the static up. And now there's this understatic underneath it all. It's the new level of static. It's a higher grade of static. It's like trading up your vehicles, trading up your houses, right? Trading up your material things. We are in earth. Trading up. And that's that energy. Trade up. If you're used to kind of this level and you've been working hard and this is your new standard, that means all things have to come up to meet that standard. It's not about binding yourself to bring yourself back down. Look, these binds are below all of this work that has been done in this Nine of Swords. I don't see one bind on this King of Pentacles. Conscious choices. Whoops. Oh, all right. Ancestors got a message. Hold, please. Oh, all right. Same card, but fell on the ground. So the ancestors are present, wanting to speak. This is the only binds that are on us are the ones we place on ourselves. The only reason why these two cups are in the shadow is because you haven't consciously been bringing them forward. They're there, they're waiting for you, they've always been there. But it's through this process, it's through what we're seeing, what we're feeling energetically, where we're going, that pulling these things up, being able to bring things into the forward on 129, Mars in Capricorn trining newly direct Uranus and Taurus at 19 degrees 6 minutes, Mercury in Capricorn trining Juno retrograde in Virgo 20 degrees 48 minutes. Allowing the process to move through you brings forth all of the riches. It's Saturn. I look, it all comes back to Saturn. Do the work. Doing the work brings you right back to your riches. Um, and like this is not for nothing. This is a journey, right? Like we will acknowledge that Saturn and Uranus will do some things. This is the journey. It's a journey, but at the end of it all is your blessings. You start out with that static, start out having to cut some ties, cut some binds, figure it out. It's challenging, but here's the other thing. So far, and we're just at cleaning out the broom closet. Like we got things to talk about today. So far, there is not one card on here that isn't below a five or below. Change to me, there's a lot here being in my feeling, in what I'm getting, that change has already occurred. This is all the stuff that comes after the change. This is all of the work that, okay, yep, squeezed, I was squeezed, got the change, cleared the static, and now I'm moving forward. And there's still, change is not one and done. Change is not like, oh, I changed, like this moment of change happened, and I am off on a totally new trajectory. Whoever decided to put into the collective that like timeline jumping and parallel timelines are vastly different than the one that we're on, like that might be true for certain timelines, but certainly not always the truth, not the truth. That there are timelines out there that are just slightly different. It's why my husband and I love watching For All Mankind. And we've talked about this when we've watched For All Mankind. Apple TV, check it out if you haven't seen it. It is the perfect example of when not all things get crazily altered when you change. You just see subtle shifts. And those subtle shifts over time, over long periods of time, end up becoming more exponential in their size, in the amount of change that has occurred. Because typically, when you change, you open yourself up to further change, the comfortability of change, the flexibility and agility of change, which allows you to make further changes. It's one thing that layers on top of another. All right. Wow. Okay. Thank you for all of those messages, ancestors. We're going to leave the Page of Swords up here because we are cutting through static today. We're going to put these back and we are going to talk about Mercury in Aquarius. Okay. We're a little bit ahead, and that's great because Mercury in Aquarius is probably one of my personal favorite placements. I'll explain why here in a moment. But Mercury will ingress into Aquarius on February 4th. This Page of Swords, talk about cutting through the static. Mercury is exalted in Aquarius. We love Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury in any air sign is phenomenal. Mercury in Aquarius is on another level. Just on another level. let's be honest, Aquarius is on another level. So why, Mercury being there on another level. Um, the thing that I really enjoy about Mercury and Aquarius in Aquarius is the dualistic, because Mercury's traditional rulership in the sign of Gemini, its first sign, first air sign that it rules, is all about duality, and isn't life just all about duality? So the fact that Aquarius has a traditional ruler of Saturn and a modern ruler of Uranus, here is another form of duality that Mercury gets to play with. And as a personal planet, when you play, it gets really fun. This is your, personal planets are a lot about the relationship that you have with others and you have with yourself. It's the very earth-based relationships. And having these bigger energies with Saturn and Uranus here, having these more, this more conceptualized, higher, exalted Aquarian style of energy, just Mercury just gets to play here. It's like a playground. It's probably like it would be in my mind, what like meeting somebody that you really, really, really respect and being able to like sit there and learn from them. If it would be like being able to take class at university with Einstein as your teacher, it would be like meeting Nikola Tesla and sitting in his, inventive space. It would be being the muse for Leonardo and watching him paint or watching him bring forth his ideas and concepts into the world. Like that is what I feel Mercury gleans from Saturn and Uranus here. He gleans that and just can soak it in and bring it and make it relevant to self, to life, to the relationship that you have and you have with the physical world around you. So with Mercury and Aquarius, there's an ability to have this clear head, which again, cutting out the static, the Page of Swords. It's this ability to have a clear head, see change as an opportunity. You want to talk about, we just kind of had this whole moment of change, and that is Mercury headed into Aquarius can help ground that in. It can help ground in the yes. Look, Aquarius is a fixed sign. We cannot forget about that fixed sign. Having Mercury in a fixed sign, which really loves the mutability of things, really loves that energy, it can be really refreshing because Mercury and his tendency to be mutable, his tendency to expand, his tendency to allow air molecules to just go all over the place and do what they want to do, it really supports that fixed nature that we deal with in Aquarius, where change can be within your parameters. There's that fixed nature, but Mercury can teach us here, and Mercury can bring in here that change is still relevant even in fixed parameters. Um, Change itself is fixed. We will always be changing. That is the one constant in life. That is the one fixed thing in life. Change, 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 change. Even the change from life to death. Change is our fixed constant. So if that's the case, then what Mercury can bring in mutability, we already have that, is now it's an opportunity how to change. Don't be focused just on the fact that it is change that's fixed, but being able to expand and open that up to how do I make an opportunity of the change that I'm going through? You get to move a little more freely. Another thing that comes really well with Mercury and Aquarius is the intuitiveness, and the mental drips, the hits, there it is, the ahas. You just saw me have one. Yep, there we go. Mercury and Aquarius can read people very well. They kind of get the difference between, again, this Page of Swords. who's a bullshitter, who is bullshitting them, and who is the real deal, which can be really relevant right now, especially as we're going through so much transition, as we're going through so much kind of shakeups and things that are occurring. And we're working, this is an 8 year, we're working into our harvest. We don't want to hire just any hands to help us bring in our harvest. We want to hire the real deal. We want to surround ourselves with the real deal. And that Mercury and Aquarius can kind of fetter out all of the people around you, your community around you, and see where people are placed within that. Um, it's also hard to pull over anything with Mercury and Aquarius. There's that kind of critical cold eye to things that you again, the bullshit meter just goes off really well. They're not very gullible. So natives that have Mercury and Aquarius typically aren't very gullible. They're very witty. They can be great orators. So if you have been waiting, wow, look at our friends. I have been seriously shuffling these, and our friends came back out to play. Hi. Friends came back out to play. Don't forget, the clusters will be in Aquarius too. Mercury's going to go. Clusters will come after. So we will have all of this energy, this, the Venus, the Mars, the Sun, the Moon, all of the energies coming into Aquarius. Um, so where was I? Oh yeah, they can be great orators, lead social clubs. So, it's really one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite placements is because I am the recipient. Ooh, the Tower. Ooh, look at all of these bottom cards. Hold on. Show you all of these. Um, I am the recipient and grateful recipient of the energy of somebody with a native Mercury and Aquarius. My husband, this is where his natal placement is. And so I get to see and feel and energetically take part in this sort of energy all the time, and it is wonderful. It is that clarity. So this is how this came out. The Tower and the Eight of Swords came out, but they came out upside down, and they wanted me to leave them upside down because that's the message. This is typically like Mercury and Aquarius, as with all things, there's duality. There are two sides to all things. It can be this or it can be this. This is what we going for. This is the moneymaker right here. This is the ability to, with the Tower reverse, this is the ability to look at change, look at things that are occurring around you with a critical eye, look at the way that things shape and shift and be able to capitalize on it, be able to become part of the change versus having the change occur, you know, on and around you without you being that active participant to it. It's finding the places to land a little softer. So I know that this is eminent. This is a Mercury and Aquarius thing. I can see that this is eminent. I know that this is eminent, but I can give the tools to make this landing a little softer. Look, this landing, they're going to land in the ocean. They're going to be just fine. Look, Yemoja Olokun got them. They are going to be just fine. They're going to swim to shore. Everything's great. Got a little shock. It was a little cold. Totally fine. It happens. Saturn's in Pisces. We're here. We're great, but it's not as detrimental as when you see it like this. Like this looks like there's no hope. That we got hope. Things are falling away. Look at like this and I'm totally going to say the wrong word and this is going to be really embarrassing. Trying to remember if it's stalagmites come down from the top or stalactites. I think it's stalagmites. Anyways, y'all know what I'm saying. Somebody put in the chat, correct me where I'm at. But it's like that dripping from the cave, right? It's that dripping down. Like these are things that you don't need anymore. Let them drip away. Let the corrosion build. Let the water, the pure water, the life-saving energy, the purity of life Drip, allow it to be cleansed, allow it to be purified, allow all these things to drip down and allow this internal version of you to shine forward, the pure version of you to shine forward. It's the moment with Mercury and Aquarius where you don't have to hide this Eight of Swords. You don't have to hide who you are. There is zero need to do that. There is zero need to look at everything like the world is on fire. Man, we can leave that. Look, Mercury and Aquarius is like, I'll leave that. I'll leave that to the Leos. I'll leave that to the over dramatic signs. I'm a Leo sun. I can totally say that. So I'll leave it to the drama queens. All of this can just go away. We about something bigger. We about feeding something bigger, going back to that cave. That water turns and brings the water down into the earth takes it and it goes out into the world. We can purify the world. Mercury and Aquarius knows how to do that. Exalted here, exalted in that change. All right. Oh my gosh, I had these two. I was so focused on that. I forgot that two more came out. And these ones were right side up. So we have the Six of Rods as well as the Star. I mean, the, the water bearer herself. This visual representation of Aquarius, the visual representation of Mercury in Aquarius, the ability to have a foot in the ether, have a foot on the earth. You know, Mercury is aligned with the Orisha Eshu, Baba Eshu, Mashemio, woo, guardian of the crossroads. And here in this star card, there's so many untapped messages that, man, if you can let the water bearer do its due diligence, if you can let Mercury do its due diligence, you are going back to that cave. This is where the water goes. It gets put back into the earth, it gets recycled. Water has a whole natural cycle to it. It is like we live on an amazing planet. We are amazing creatures, all of things that encompass this world that we live in is mind blowing. And Mercury and Aquarius, we can tap into that. That is mind blowing to think about, the complexity of us as humans, the complexity of the world around us. But Mercury and Aquarius gives us the container, the space to not make that so overwhelming, the space to understand it for what it is and how we can use it for the collective, for the whole, bringing it back. What is our place? The Six of Rods. What is our place to bring forward? What is our place in the collective greatness? How do we use our gifts? How do we use this awesome wit, this great oration, this ability to, to bring forward all of this fire, all of this desire, all of the things that we want into the world, into meeting with other people? Mercury and Aquarius, getting it done, all the while removing the static. Okay, here we go. Uranus stationing direct. So Uranus, I'll probably use both, just an FYI. No right or wrong with that. It is truly how you speak, how it comes out. Um, there's a few things. So we're going to talk about the 27th because that's a whole day. And we are also going, where are we at? Yeah, we got quite a bit on Uranus. And then we will head to the Twitchy tip of the week. And that will be it for today, y'all. All right. Stationing direct, 19 degrees 5 minutes at 1:35 a.m. on 127. So we've got 6 days, Knight of Pentacles, and it will station direct, can't make it up, in a trine to Mercury and Mars in Capricorn. I mean, Mercury and Mars in Capricorn, high Knight of Pentacles. Will make this beautiful trine. And it will also trine Juno retrograde in Virgo. So let me get another trine because I've got this Page of Swords up at the top, kind of in that representatory energy of Uranus stationing direct. I like that the Nine of Pentacles are here. We are in, these earth signs, this Capricorn. Um, oh, look at that. Two of Cups coming out. Juno retrograde in Virgo. We're going to put that other over here. I got it kind of a triangle shape on my desk to kind of bring in that supportive, clear messaging. Um, so with all the things going on with this station, with this day as a whole, I wanted to talk through the staging of events. And this absolutely, I fully realized that I could be pulling from this Leo energy. The Leo new moon or the Leo full moon, excuse me, is very present. You'll also see, like, as we start the 27th, the moon is in Leo. So I feel like that staging has a very leonine theme to it. Still important. Leo and Taurus, we're friends. We love our little fixed energy. We have very good compatibility, very good insights, very good alignment with each other. So I feel like there's something here with this Leo energy that can really lend to the staging. Um, but this station has this concept of staging to it, something that needs to come into the awareness. Even if it's unknown why it's coming to your awareness, it's a very Uranian sort of feel where if you know, you know, if you don't, you're gonna find out, or maybe you won't, and that's okay. But no matter what, it's here. Hi. And it really depends upon the work you've been doing. It really depends upon where you're at in your journey. Have you been dragging your feet? Are you not where you're at? Are you, you've been steadily ignoring the call of spirit, the call of destiny, the call of movement forward. And that Uranian will smack you right upside the face. I don't know why this is showing this itself to me. The King of Pentacles is here now. I don't know why this is showing itself to me. Well, if you go back, I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. Whoa, Page of Cups comes out. That flew out, by the way. So it's very Uranian for those that that have been doing the work, that have been working diligently, answering the call, very opposite of everything. This awareness could be something that opens up and you're like, ooh, I don't know why that's here, but I accept and receive. Let me see what I can do with that. Again, Mercury and Aquarius, it's finding these spaces. It's finding the ability to look at this Page of Cups. That is just a fish up in a cup. Literally. Fish in a cup, page looking at it. That is absolutely how you can discern this card. Just by literally looking at it. It's that same thing. I can look at this card simply like this, or I can interpret it. I can have a sense of gratitude for it. I can open myself up and see imagery beyond it. I can apply other knowledge to it. I can dig into what the word page means, what the word cup means, what the color blue means. Why are they in red? Why did this artist decide it was supposed to be on a table? Why is there a hat on this individual? You can go, there are so many layers. And that's what Uranus could be presenting to you is this stage. How are you setting your stage? It's a staging of events. Do you want it to just be a stage of, okay, I've got this cup, I've got a fish, and I've got a person? Can you dig in and go deeper? Can you stage your events in an imaginative way, in a way that like takes you somewhere else, takes you into the Uranian themes of shifting, of perception, of otherworldly gifts, of, this renovation of, I mean, just so many different ways that you can work into those Uranian themes to make something more than what it is. Keeping it how it is not a bad thing. Might be exactly what you need to do right now. There's something very interesting. So, hold on, I want to get one more. Oh, well, okay, there we go. Okay, so let me put this down. So, I have my triangle. Page of Swords is up at the top. Down on the left is the Knight of Pentacles. So that's one edge of the triangle. We have the Two of Cups on the other. So it is this kind of supportive structure with the Knight of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. And the Knight of Pentacles is watching the Two of Cups. Let me put it this way. Boom. So he is watching this Two of Cups. He is watching this union happen. He is watching the growth. Like this to me is that Uranian energy. Uranus is watching what you are choosing to do, how you are choosing to come forward, what you are choosing to allow into your sphere, what decisions you're making, how you're bringing people in, how you're utilizing the energy that's available to you, how you're marrying masculine and feminine energies, all the things. Watching. Boop, 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 boop. Hi, what are you doing? And the great thing is, he's got a lance long enough to knock you the F on top of the head if this ain't going right. Stop it. That's what he'll do. He'll just knock it because coming up, and then it points to getting rid of the static. It points to all of this energy that's in the middle, which I'll get to in a second. Like we've got our foundation and how that foundation, the point of that foundation, what it all pulls towards is just letting the shit go that needs to be let go, clearing the static. And in the middle, there is static. There's a King of Pentacles. There's a Page of Cups. There is a Three of Swords. And there is a Nine of Cups. This is energy. How are you dealing with your self-worth? This is Venus. This is Taurus. How are you dealing with your self worth? How are you dealing with the Venusian, the Taurian things in life? How have those things changed since Uranus has been here, which has been 2018? That not for nothing. There's been things happening in here. What do you know? What do you like? How have you worked on yourself? What are the pleasures that you're seeking now? How have they changed over time? So this is like that mixture because this is the first one that came out. So that was the start. This is where we started. We started with our self-worth, our gratitude practices. Here comes this page. Gratitude practices. You had to break all of that down. You had to clear the static. You know, Uranus could have taken his lance, bopped you the fuck on the head, and been like, yo, bro, this ain't it. This ain't it. You got to make some changes up in here. You got to look at this cup differently. You got to try things differently. You got to do things differently. And with that, bleeding heart and all, you still got to do it. Uranus does it. This, I love when speaking about Uranus, when like feeling cards come out, because this is a super heavy feeling card, because Uranus doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. He just doesn't. Because no matter what, the constant is change. The constant is achieving what you were tasked with to do, what you signed on to do, what you, depending upon what you believe, and I'll just speak from my own beliefs, you are a reincarnated ancestor coming onto this earth to continue to propel not only yourself, your lineage forward, but the earth forward. We are all a part and all connected into the whole. This is Aquarius. Uranus ruling Aquarius. Uranus now having to come down, Knight of Pentacles, literally come down to Earth at this time since 2018, will be here. I have it written down. Hold on. Will be here until April 27th, 2026 to clear all of this up. Yes, I get it. Dude, I get it. I get grief. I get change. I get the challenge. I get tapping into your self worth. I get the extreme, like, just pain of the human experience. I get crying in your cereal bowl. I get not understanding. I get frustration. All of those things are in this three of swords. At the end of the day, it's sitting right up underneath the page of swords. That static gets cleared. There is a way through all of that energy into this Two of Cups, into this Nine of Cups. Like, look at the pride in this card. Look at the jolliness. Look at he has got these rosy red cheeks because, damn it, I achieved something. This is Uranus's otherworldly gifts. That's what Uranus brings. Otherworldly gifts. It's not your typical gifts. It's not the gifts that, like, Saturn's our gift giver, right? Like, Saturn brings these these moments where you do the work and then you get blessings from them. Those are your gifts, these gifts that we get to carry on. Uranus brings these otherworldly gifts, this transcendence of self-worth here in as he's in Taurus, of values, of aligning yourself, of having security in who you are, knowing that no matter what happens to you, no matter what happens to you, Three of Swords, you have a path through. This too shall change. You are capable. 9 gifts. 9 otherworldly gifts. There are no value. That's why I love that it's a cup and not the pentacle. There is no value that can be placed on these gifts. And every value is going to be individualized to the person, to the collective, wherever it's working. Definitely feeling this more personally. And now, this Two of Cups, this anchor point down at the right, where we move forward, where we take our action, gets to choose between these 9 cups, gets to pull, harmonize, unify all of these different otherworldly gifts that Uranus brought in because of this Three of Swords, because of this Page of Cups, because of this King of Pentacles, because Uranus is so damn good and thankful, gratefully so, of taking his lance and just marking it where it needs to go, hitting the bullseye with what we need to evolve into our highest and best good. Wow, I haven't even gotten into the 27th yet. We went on a whole journey there. That was awesome. Okay, let's get into the 27th. That was staging. We're here. I really don't feel like I need more cards. Maybe that will come in a second. So let's ground. Let's talk about the 27th. Whew. All right. On the 27th, we enter in at midnight. We enter in the 27th with a moon in Leo. Just coming off of the full moon. Awesome. Love that. So that full moon energy is still present. I told you that that Leo energy was here. And 1:18 a.m., the sun in Aquarius will square Jupiter in Taurus at 6 degrees, 5 minutes. This 5, 6 degrees of Taurus, super activated. Taurus really has had two activation points. This 5, 6 degrees has been one of them. This is where an eclipse was. This is where all kinds of things have been happening. So this sun in Aquarius squaring Jupiter and Taurus here, then immediately, like we're talking, this is 1:18 a.m., 1:35 a.m., Uranus stations direct. Uranus stations direct at another really pivotal degree points, the 15, 16 degrees. So, I'm sorry, 18, 19 degrees of Uranus. He stations direct at 19 degrees, 5 minutes. Then at 8:58 a.m., Mercury, can't make it up, the 27th, big day. This is one of my transits to watch. Mercury will conjunct Mars in Capricorn at 17 degrees, 18 minutes, finalizing, tying off, completing the circle of the Mercury Mars conjunction that Mercury was going through December 27th exactly. This is an entire exact to the day month later, when he was retrograde. This is now more matured. We are a little higher. We're in another sign. We're one level up. We're climbing the mountain. So this is that kind of, here we have the sun squaring Taurus right off of a Leo full moon. Uranus stationing direct, key point with this square to Jupiter. Mercury conjunct Mars to tie something off. Then at 1:11 p.m., yes, 1:11 p.m., all times in Central, the moon goes into Virgo. And at 10:23 p.m., Mercury in Capricorn will square the North Node in Aries at 18 degrees, 6 minutes. 27th, huge energy to watch out for. And again, it's this staging. I really got this term about staging. And part of the staging, again, I had kind of said at the beginning, this Twitchy Tuesdays is kind of taking us back a little bit, taking this time for reflection, going back into the past to come forward. Part of this staging is headed back to 2 years in the past. So I was reminded today, thankfully so, with one of my teachers in astrology, Lynette Duncan, Oracle of Your Soul. She is a blessing. If you do not follow her, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to do so. She had mentioned that at the end of July, beginning of August in 2022, there was a triple conjunction at 18 degrees of Taurus between Uranus, Mars, and the North Node. And that's where kind of everything started to click in for me, where I was like, oh my gosh, staging. Here we go. So now Uranus isn't ever going back to that 18 degrees of Taurus during this Taurian cycle that it's in. It will come back there during its longer transit, but Uranus has left the 18 degrees of Taurus, as it journeys forward. So the players, though, we're 1 degree off. We're really 5 arc minutes off. Let's just be honest. So we are very, very close. And the players in the game are the same. When you look at the aspects for the day, we have Uranus present, we have Mars present, we have the North Node present. We have Mercury now in the mix. So this is kind of the extra little sauce over on the side here. Like Mercury's here. Oh, wait, Mercury's doing something. We also have Jupiter. Jupiter wasn't here then. So it's this really interesting mix, and it's a reflection point, it's a staging point. So we're still being activated in this old point coming forward into the new, and it really sit like all I could get was renovation. That's what was in came through so strong, and I couldn't stop seeing Broadway. I couldn't stop seeing like Phantom of the Opera, Cats, Lion King, these Les Mis, these really long standing, very ingrained in the Broadway culture plays that have been going on for decades, going on for a really long time in theaters that have been open, and part of the aspect of the foundation, we're in Taurus, the foundation of Broadway, the foundation of New York City, the foundation of, you know, theater in itself. It's a very prominent thing. How community comes together. We've got the Aquarius energy being activated as well. And regardless of what it is, the fact that Broadway exists, what that might be, and what it might mean does not mean that Broadway, that these theaters doesn't need to go through some sort of renovation. The plays, the energy, the love, the quality, XXX, none of that needs to change. That can continue on. Maybe it does need to change. Maybe it needs a little bit of change. Who knows? You may get new, right? You got to replace your actors. You've got to replace props. Props need to be updated. Stages need to be renovated. Seats need to be reupholstered. So that for me was what this day, this staging really kind of signified. And if you go back to the last Twitchy Tuesday episode and listen about the full moon in Leo, how those questions, how that energy of the full moon in Leo ties together with this staging, this theme of staging, it marries so beautifully. So look at what type of renovation has been occurring in your world recently. Has been occurring in your world really, like, I shouldn't even say recently, since 2022. What type of renovation, either within yourself, your physical surroundings, what types of shifts in the earth that you occupy have changed? What has occurred? How has things been renovated? How have things shifted? Uranus is all about shifting the earth, shifting something. And when I say Uranus, I mean Uranus and Taurus specifically. So, one thing that I noticed kind of going through this process was in 2022, we actually lived on the big island of Hawaii on the Hilo side. And since this time, since 2022, since this trifecta of a conjunction, Pele has shifted. Pele shifted the earth. The earth has shifted itself. The Hawaiian Islands, I'm getting goosebumps. The Hawaiian Islands, regardless, man made or not, have had some profound earth shifts. Change has occurred. That that change can't, it's that permanent change that you can't go back, right? I can't reupholster the chair with the old fabric. It doesn't work like that. I can't, this is why renovation is so interesting to me. I can't renovate a Tudor castle because the bricks and the mortar that they used back then isn't around today. Yes, you can renovate it, but it's renovating it with keeping the integrity of the history, but renovating it with technology of today, with things of today. And, you know, this fixed earth sign of Taurus, there's a lot of renovation around things of the earth. We've seen earthquakes, we've seen volcanoes, we've seen, I mean, all of those things happen all the time, don't get me wrong. But look at where you're at, see where you're at. parcel of earth are you on? And how has that shifted and renovated over time? So Uranus, like its brothers and sisters past the asteroid belt, so this is like Saturn and beyond, are all about our personal relationship with the world around us. Unlike the personal planets, which is how we relate ourselves to each other, the outer planets truly are how we live in the world and relate to the world around us, what we see, and specifically the lack of sight, what we don't see. Tapping, the outer planets and their transits allow us to tap into much more the unseen, our senses that are not of sight. So the feeling, the hearing, the touch, the ether. It really helps us to figure out how we relate to the world around us. Most importantly, Uranus is all about replacing the old. I love the look of old buildings. I think visually, aesthetically, they are amazing. But Uranus is all about replacing that old. How do you fix those cracks? How do you renovate? How do you make new? Um, which I think, again, is really interesting that the Leo full moon highlights the themes. So the Leo full moon, again, I highly encourage you to go and watch the last episode. It's at 5 degrees, and the Sabian symbol of Leo 6 is the theme of tradition meeting rebellion, the old fashioned meeting the new rebellious nature. And with Pluto in Aquarius, Aquarius season in general, there's so much flavor. Even for a fixed sign, there is so much flavor of this traditional versus rebellion that is potent at this time. And Uranus isn't done. That's the other piece. They're telling me I can put away the cards. Ooh, thank you much. Uranus isn't done here. Uranus, again, like I said, he's been here. It's been here since the 15th of 2018, May 15th. It's going to be here till April 27th, 2026. It's going to do a quick hop, little quick jump into Gemini, July to November of 2025. So that's upcoming, but won't fully be in Gemini until April 27th, 2026. So if we just look at 2024 and what Uranus has to offer, Uranus is going to move forward all the way to 27 degrees, 15 minutes of Taurus, and then start its retrograde on September 1st of 2024. That is the same day that Pluto retrograde will head back into Capricorn for the very last time in our lifetime. And obviously, then finish that retrograde, move into Aquarius fully seated in November of 2024. So much, much more to look forward to. Before we dive into this week's Twitchy tip, I'd like to extend an invitation to all you seekers out there. If you are enjoying this journey, I would love for you to consider giving us some blessings, hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, checking out our other Twitchy videos, and not just checking them out, but sharing them. We are also active on X with exclusive content you can't find on other platforms. So if you are interested, you can absolutely go there, hit that follow button, and yeah, join along for the journey. We have launched our first two transformative classes into 2024. I love coming on here and being part of Twitchy Tuesdays, bringing this information, doing a lot of the readings and just kind of talking through all of this. Classes are going to be the way that we really truly dig in and define and build community, which is what Aquarius is all about. These classes are going to be the spaces where more of that one-on-one communication can go on, finding a community of like-minded individuals. You can have the ability to reach out, tap people on the shoulders, getting into live live private meeting rooms where we can have much more in-depth, more targeted, more specific conversations to what is occurring with you, what you're doing in your journey. And the way to do that is going to be, for me personally, is going to be through classes. And so again, first of two in 2024, EF Astrology and Astrovision 2024. EF Astrology is a paid course. It will have limited spots. It's in pre-launch, but fully launched in Aquarius season. So, in the next like 4-ish weeks, it's going to come out to full-fledged course. And, yeah, once that happens, it's going to have those limited spots available just to keep it as intimate as it can. And then Astrovision 2024, that is actually completely free. And it is your gateway to year-long learning and guidance. We cover in depth the astrology by month. I've just uploaded that overview. And by joining the free course, you also get additional perks that won't be anywhere else, like a little read for each of the months in the quarter and overall the energies, etc. So that's going to be really exciting. There are also downloadable PDFs, resources for you that you will find in there as well. And again, it's for free. It literally costs you nothing to sign up and get access to this information. You can find out all the details on the classes by heading to habitualsages.com over here. All the things over there. And or you can follow the link in the description box. So, thank you, as always, for helping me and my mission to help 1 million people heal, thrive, and grow. I am thrilled to have you on this journey. And let's get into the twitchy tip of the week. And funny enough, I was so hyped to talk about Uranus. Nothing landed. Nothing landed for this twitchy tip of the week. So I'm just going to pull. I'm feeling 3 cards because, we talked about Mercury and Eshu's presence. So let's just get 3 cards. It's aligned with Eshu's energy. Figure out what the twitchy tip of the week is. First card out, Knight of Rods. I'm going to pull all 3 and then we'll talk about them and I will show them. What is your second card? Ooh, 5 of Swords. What is the last twitchy tip guidance that you have? All right. Knight of Swords. Wow. Okay. Let's put this back. So, Knight of Rods, followed by the 5 of Swords, followed by the Knight of Swords. First things first, twitchy tip of the week, determine what direction you're going in. This energy feels very spread out, very chaotic, very unsettled. There's a lot of options here. Even the knights are facing different directions. The hermit in the 5 of Swords and the people in the background of this 5 of Swords, they're kind of veiled. You don't know which direction to head in. It's time to get this week focus on getting the clarity for the change of direction that you are in, getting the clarity of which direction you want to go. When we look at all that we just talked about, getting the direction for your renovation, right? Here's 5 swords. 3 are on the ground. Well, 2 are on the ground. Holding 1, 2 are over the shoulder. This is in various stages of renovation already. You've decided what 2 you're going to leave. What about these 3? Decision has to be made. Decision needs to be made. How are you renovating? How are you staging things? What things need to come? Look at this Tower Inferno. As things change, as this tower happens, change occurs, things go kapooey. You've got to have that clarity of vision, clarity of purpose, clarity of values, clarity of worth, clarity of all the things we talk about. You have to have clarity and then begin to put them into Knight of Rods, begin to put them into action. There's something here about making a decision. Look at even this little, is it a griffin? I don't know. It, griffin? Not a griffin. Maybe not a griffin. No, griffin is half lion, half, maybe that is. I don't know. This bird on top of his helmet is what I am speaking of. In this Knight of Rods. This, I'm getting, especially since we kind of invoked Eshu into this conversation, bringing in his number, bringing in the three. This to me is the Ori. This is sitting on top of the head. Your Ori is that connection to your Ori allows you to be able to bring things forward into the world, align yourself with good character, align yourself with the things that are for your highest and best good, because in that alignment, you move forward, you walk forward into, and you can make these choices. You can, as things go around you, never let a crisis go to waste. You can make the decisions that you need to make that are on path with your highest your destiny path, essentially your best and highest good. And this, like, look, it is laser effing focused. It knows exactly where you need to go. It it like seeking, boom, got it. No questions. It doesn't have any questions. But are you willing to listen? Are you willing to allow that faith to come through? Are you a willing participant? Are you willing to be guided? Are you willing to, when it is a no, understand that it's a no right now? It might not be a no forever. And more than likely, that no is on purpose. Always, right? So there's something here about letting that guide your actions, maybe even letting that guide your choices. But twitchy tip of the week, there's some choices that need to be made. Get some clarity on those choices. Get some ideas about where you want to go, how you want to stage. And then, work to bring that into the forefront, work to speak that truth, work to have that conversation. If a choice is, that affects other people, work to have that conversation with others, work to have that conversation with yourself. Twitchy tip of the week. All right. Thank you all so much as we wrap up this mystical journey on this Sunday special episode, Twitchy Tuesday. Remember to stay tuned for more cosmic revelations every Twitchy Tuesday. We will be back regularly scheduled program. I don't even know what day that is. Let's take a look. On the 30th. So until next time, may your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my twitchy friends, and bless.